Come on, bitch, let's go. Come on, get ready, bitches. You haven't seen nothing yet. Come on.
Valentino, Versace, Lamborghini, Bugatti. I got money to burn. I'm single and I'm naughty.
Come on.
Tiffany's, Cartier, Gucci, Armani.
Come on.
Break out your black card, boys. It's time to party.
Hi, you guys. I'm singing to you. I feel better today. I'm still under the weather, but better than I was. Oh my gosh, 2 days ago, I was dying. I was doing content and dying for all of you. What are we doing today? I am doing the show alone intentionally today. I have a few guests lined up coming soon, don't worry, but I'm not quite ready for a guest because I really wanted to cover a few things on my own. I like to do that because I can get more out to you guys. So today's show is going to be about me telling you a few different things. Number one, I'm going to be telling some gossip to do with New Jersey that I think you'll appreciate. Number two, I'm going to tell you all of the spoilers for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City season 5. And I've done some of this for the bonus audio listeners months ago, but congratulations, it's now graduated to the regular group. So I will be telling you all the spoilers. Get ready. It's going to be such a good show, and you're going to have a head start on everybody else, which I know you all love. And then I'm going to cover 3 of the most famous mummy curses because I actually believe in curses. So I went to Bath, England at Christmas time. And one of the things that fascinated me the most about the Roman baths there that were built between 60 and 70 AD and are pretty much intact as they were was that there were curses found all in there. Because you could go to the Roman baths and there was like a room that like the priests would take you into this area. Like it was very sophisticated, by the way, you guys. There was a gym. There was like, a weights room, like a massage room. They had different types of baths in there. It was wild. And what was interesting about it was there was a place where you could go and you could pay a spiritualist or priest and he would do curses for you. And they found thousands of curses. And I was like, gosh, just think about it. From the beginning of 60 and 70 AD, people have believed in this kind of magic. So what does that say? All the way back to 60 and 70 AD, straight through till today, we still do curses on people and believe in that magic. And I'm like, you would think that if it didn't work, we would have quit a long time ago and in multiple generations have given up on it by now. But we haven't. And that asks the question, why? And one of the main curses that have always existed in different time periods, even the Egyptians believed this and used to write this in hieroglyphics on their tombs back in BC time period, that if you desecrate the dead in any way, there's going to be punishment to the people around you. Things like this. Let me read you real things. Death shall come on swift wings to him that touched the tomb of this pharaoh. And if you ask scientists to comment about the Valley of the Kings and whether or not there's a general belief that you'll be punished if you touch the tombs of these pharaohs, they'll tell you, yes, we believe that you will be punished if you touch them. Now, if you've ever seen the film from 2000, Final Destination, that movie will really demonstrate my point here. There's this character named Alex. He has a premonition of a plane that explodes midair, and then the people don't get on the plane. They decide to not go because he's so scared of this premonition, and sure enough, the plane blows up and they cheat death. And then one by one in the horror movie, freak accidents kill these people one by one, meaning you can't cheat death. It's coming for you. And these kids seemingly die of freak accidents, and people are like, oh no, it's not sinister or paranormal because it's just all these freak accidents and it can all be justified away. But still, everybody in the film dies one by one over time. Now, I bring up this movie to you because this really reminds me of the Mummy's curses. Yes, we can certainly talk about scientific explanations for some of the things that happen to the literally 30 people that die around these mummies. But I mean, if you look at it from the Final Destination perspective, like who cares that you can rationalize how all of this death and destruction happened around these mummies? It still freaking happened, with people directly around these mummies. And to me, that's what a curse really is, right? It's kind of an explanation for a lot of bad luck that, yeah, you might be able to associate to real life things, but my goodness, all these people that seem to cross this boundary, if you will, get punished in some horrific way. And I thought, I'm going to tell this story a little different. I'm going to tell the story of the mummy's curses from the perspective that there was a lot of evidence to say that curses did exist around these things, even though there were explanations for the bad luck people experienced around them. So I hope you enjoy that part of today's show. It's awesome. You will not be disappointed. And I love paranormal, and we haven't done one of these for a while. I'm kind of covering paranormal this week again. I've done a lot of the curses, like family curses and things like that, but we haven't done the mummy curses. And this is so good. Hopefully I can finish it all in one episode. If not, it'll be part of next week's episode.
Come on, bitch, let's go.
So you may recall that I did a show on Thursday where I told you that Larsa Pippen had her birthday party. And at her birthday party, there was information that Marcello Genovese, who's Louis Ruelas' really good friend, was going to be at Larsa's birthday, obviously with Teresa Giudice and Louis Ruelas, because Marcello Genovese doesn't really have ties to Larsa Pippen otherwise. Now, just a reminder, Marcello Genovese is the head of Venivia, the company that's tied to Louis Ruelas' Influencer Nation company. And he has been alleged of many bad deeds as of late, including not paying many vendors, staff, etc., including wife of the party, who did the big Venivia promotional event that was all over all the Bravo pages because Teresa Giudice and Louis Ruelas and Cynthia Bailey and Charlie D'Amelio attended to show their support for the company and the product. And of course, Influencer Nation is in the office building with Venivia, so they're heavily integrated. And Louis Ruelas was working out of their offices until he took a whole floor in that building. And funny enough, wife of the party, who's owed $300,000 by Venivia for the launch party that they did, was there, and she's good friends with Larsa. And so pretty shocking that wife of the party was, at the same party with Marcello Genovese. And I would have loved to have seen that interaction. But I understand that Marcello went as a guest of Louis and Teresa's. And Louis and Teresa were there because Teresa's close with Larsa right now. So that's the story with that. But how funny or how wild that wife of the party and Marcello Genovese were at the same party, being that he owes her $300,000. And if you recall, wife of the party had posted Louis Ruelas, "When are we getting paid?" and made a public statement about that. So she must have probably walked up on Louis Ruelas and said, "Hey, where's my money?"
You know what that sound means. Ooh, it's time for Beef of the Week.
Who knows? Maybe Larsa Pippen helped her do it, set that up. But I thought you guys would find that interesting. I haven't found out what happened, and hopefully I will. Also, I did speak to Asha. Asha is the girl in Switzerland that Marcello Genovese took on several dates in his Ferrari and took her to his shiny Venivia offices, and she saw it all, and she was like, "Oh my God, this is the most amazing offices." And Marcello told her that he put 80% of his money in this company and he was so proud of it. And she believed in it. So she bought a share in the company, whatever that means. And, then she never heard back about her money. And she started to get nervous because all these vendors were not getting paid and taking legal claims out against Venivia. And she wrote a huge Reddit post where she was like, can somebody help me get information about how I may get my money back? Anyway, I guess they called a shareholder meeting in Switzerland on June 30th and everybody was brought in. And they said that they're going to take everyone through the financials and so everybody understands it better. And honestly, I felt so bad for Asha because at the end of the day, based on other people I've spoken to, because I spoke also to some of the developers, I spoke to people who worked for them, I spoke to people who are in the general offices with them, everybody has talked to me at this point. Oh my God, I just figured it out. Maybe wife of the party served Marcello Genovese at Larsa Pippen's birthday party because I heard she was going to sue, not just do the threats that she's been doing. So maybe that happened. Oh my God, let's get wife of the party on a show. Love it. She's hot too. Have you seen her picture? Anyway, the bottom line is with all of this litigation, they're now starting to blame publicly that, people on X have defamed them. And that is why they're struggling financially as a company. And they've lost, $4 million and these types of defamations on X. It's just not true, right? The reason that their reputation fell apart was all the many lawsuits and people publicly taking to social media to say they were owed money and they were done dirty and it was a terrible company to work for. And by the way, there were all of these lies being said by the founders about their origin story to make them seem more credible than they really were. And that is why, there was a sudden drop in things. And probably more importantly, what I heard was that the product line wasn't far enough along. It had a lot of bugs. It wasn't signing up influencers as they were, supposed to. It wasn't as big a deal as they thought. It never is. And the tech was not functioning in a way that was that extraordinarily different than already established applications that were way beyond them with way more money than them. So it all seems like a ruse. And then you add to it the crypto component. I mean, come on. So there you have it. I'm not going to do another deep dive on Venivia, but I thought you'd like me filling in some of those blanks. Asha really still hopes that she's going to see some of her money back. I do too, Marcello. I hope you will honor that and not just head to your wedding with Louis Ruelas and Teresa Giudice this month with it all. That's all I'm going to say on that. All right, well, let's move on to some other New Jersey gossip. Some of you guys brought to my attention that Teresa Giudice on her podcast was told a story by Pat that he was so impressed with how much Louis Ruelas loved the children and showed his love for the children by taking them all on dates and spending, I guess, individual time with each child. The use of the word dates really disturbed people for a few reasons. Number one, why is Louis Ruelas, a grown man, going on dates with girls who are Teresa's daughters that are not children or little kids? They're young women. Just to remind you guys, Gia is 23, Gabriella is 19, and Melania is 18, and Adriana is 14 years old. And let's face it, Teresa's girls are gorgeous. I mean, the youngest is a professional dancer. I don't know if you knew that. She also models from time to time. So really beautiful girls, right? And then, of course, Louis Ruelas has his two boys, which he's going on dates with, apparently. But what I was hoping that was meant by this was that he spends like quality time with each kid, but it still landed really awfully. Mainly because, number one, it was Pat saying it, the producer, Melissa Pfeister's ex-producer from Namaste Bitches. And Pat, I think, really struggled with guilt leaving Melissa Pfeister's Namaste Bitches to do this flipping table podcast with Teresa Giudice, but he kind of had to do it because Herodot wanted to keep their relationship with Teresa and she wanted to work with Pat. So Pat essentially had to betray in a way Melissa Pfeister in order to go do this show with Teresa. And Pat is privy to all the bad things that happened between Melissa Pfeister and Teresa Giudice, and that Louis Ruelas yelled at Melissa Pfeister and he was present for it. So the fact that Pat was the one who said it and used the word date, that landed different with me, knowing that he knows so much about Teresa Giudice and Louis Ruelas behind the scenes on the not so nice side, right? Not just the nice side that we see. And obviously the overwhelming attempt by him to say oh, he's such a great guy, he's such a good guy, a whole show. It would be like me starting a segment of a show and I'm like, I'm going to do a whole show, you guys, about how great my son is. 15 minutes of my son is the best because of this, and this. And yeah, for the first 3 minutes of it, you'd be like, great, Dana. Wow, we didn't know he's a scientist. He's a mathematician. He's SSATs. He's chemistry guy. He learned calculus when he was 10. That was all great shit. But we're bored. Moving on. Why are you gushing every single minute about it? It's overkill. That's what's happening with Louis Ruelas because they're trying to damage control something they can't fix. And so it just comes off as why are you telling us this, And so Pat uses the word date. Everybody goes into a tizzy. Also, I had the ex-employer of Louis Ruelas from his youth, and he made allegations that Louis Ruelas liked young girls and that the younger the better. And I don't want to go into further than that, but that's the allegations he made. Plain as day, last 10 minutes of the show. If you want to go listen to it, I think it's episode 127. So, I don't know what to tell you. All this landed really bad. And people ask me my opinion, and my opinion is I bet we start to see the girls leaving Teresa's home yesterday. Now, something to say is Gabriella dropped some more tea on her ex. She got control of it again. I think I've said that to you guys, but if you didn't know, Gabriella's account on X got hacked. And she lost control of it for a long time, and then she regained it. So she's back dropping tea, and she dropped some really fun tea, which explained the falling out, allegedly, between Veronica and Louis, because, Veronica was all in Teresa and Louis's SHIT for a while. Veronica is Louis' sister. She was going to do the spiritual website with Teresa. They started kind of collabing on that, and then that went to the crapper, probably because Louis only intended to get leads from it anyway, but needless to say that there was that. And then this is what Gabriella wrote. She said, Teresa told me that around the holidays last year, Veronica and Louis got into a fight because Veronica only gifted their dad $1,000 while Louis gifted him $20,000, and then Louis and Veronica unfollowed each other. Well, I looked into this gossip, and I do believe it to be true. I was told that it would be likely that Louis Ruelas would give $20,000 to his father. His father doesn't work and they don't have a good relationship. They really never have, but he does do right by his dad, mainly because he competes with his siblings. He constantly is in a competition with Veronica. There is that. And Veronica, by the way, I think is still in Los Angeles. She got a divorce from her husband. I don't know. Last I heard she was in Malibu. Maybe she's left there now. But yeah, so there is this really kind of competitive involvement with Louis and his sister. I don't think that they're in the best relationship terms right now. And I don't know what else to say, but yes, I do believe this gossip is true. Hard to believe, but true. And I wonder where he gets the money, but I guess he can ask around and pull money in really easily somehow. Good for him. What can I tell you? It's a talent. By the way, David Brill tells a story about Louis Ruelas' dad in the episode that he did with me. So you should go listen to that if you want more information on Louis Ruelas' dad from somebody who knew them. All right. Let's move on. Kim D was hanging out with Dolores on July 11th. She did a book signing with Dolores, who made an appearance for her. So the girls are definitely helping Kim D with her book, which made me so happy. I think her book's doing really well. Then Danielle Cabral posted on her social media a flyer for Party Like a Housewife 2, meaning this year. Same script, different cast. And so now she's got Rachel Fuda and Melissa Gorga and no one else. Now remember, Fessler and Margaret didn't go to the first one, but Teresa and Jennifer did. And so they're noticeably absent from this party like a housewife, as they should be, because Jennifer was saying that she was skimping from this charity. Again, Gabriella tried to find dirt on this and couldn't. Also, I got to tell you guys, I looked into the charity, which isn't easy to necessarily figure out from the flyer or whatever, that this charity goes to benefit. And what it is a children with terminal disease charity. So I highly doubt that Danielle Cabral is stealing money from kids with terminal cancer. Just saying. You know, if it was something else, maybe I could see her doing it, maybe to homeless people or something, but not to terminally ill kids. I think that's a little bit far-fetched there. So Melissa Gorga not only is doing that appearance with Danielle Cabral, but she's doing another appearance with Joe Gorga as well. It says Melissa Gorga, Real Housewives of New Jersey meet and greet, September 26th. Meet and greet, 3-course dinner and a cash bar at the Chesapeake Inn Restaurant and Marina. Meet the Gorgas at Eventbrite. So you could go to that on September 26th at 6:30 p.m. And says Delaware, Maryland, we are coming, Parents Weekend. So I guess the Gorgas are going to visit their daughter and they're doing a meet and greet to kind of make it a business write-off maybe and like make some money while they're there. God, love the American spirit in those two. All right. Jeez. So Jennifer Aydin's going on Watch What Happens Live. Her PR hold obviously is up. Her punishment, she's been put back in the ring again to promote. The ratings have been excellent in New Jersey land. I'm trying to think as a network executive, what would I do with the show right now? I know that no contracts have been given out and no one has been told anything on the cast about the future of New Jersey. I don't care what you hear in Gossip Land. I know that's to be the case. Nobody will hear anything till after the reunion tapes on July 15th. And even then, it'll be a few weeks. There will be preliminary conversations to see what people are willing to film, what they're not willing to film, what's coming up in their life, how much money, are we talking about here? Are they still worth the money? Some people at this point will have become hungry and scared that they're going to lose the show and they will be having an identity crisis. And although they were cocky 2 or 3 months ago about the show, now they're going to start to get vulnerable and kind of consider way more than they would have, especially with the gossip that Andy Cohen very intentionally dropped so that the cast would get scared. So when they come up with numbers, they'll consider it. When they come up with pressuring them to do something, to be willing to commit to something, like maybe Teresa and Melissa trying to make amends or something like that, they might consider it out of desperation. Will it be real? Absolutely not. But will it be good TV? Sure. And I do think that kind of conversation is going to happen before any decision about any kind of spinoff or, reboot or any of that happens. I do think that if I was Andy Cohen, I would be coming up with a reboot right now because I would be recognizing that I may or may not be able to get another year out of this and I can't put all my eggs in one basket. So if it was me, I would do another season with the originals, pressuring them into doing a deal and using their egos and all that you can to do that. And then I would turn around and I would start a reboot or a spinoff, and I would play it simultaneously with New Jersey so that if the women aren't playing ball by the end of next season, I've got somewhere to jump to and move all the commercials and everything over to. And by then, get the fan base acclimated with the new show. I want to say that Teresa Giudice's daughter is in the new show, making it in Manhattan. And as much as housewives related to these kids might be threatened by production, if you don't bring it, you're out. You're getting expensive now. We're a few years in, this and that. Teresa, you're a pain in the ass. Meredith, you're not bringing it enough in Salt Lake City. Whatever the threats the producers are throwing, you have to know that this show, making it in Manhattan, mitigates that down. Because Bravo does not want to launch a new show that could be super successful and piss off the talents' moms that are on their other franchises. Because you see, the shows help each other. So it doesn't make any sense to do making it in Manhattan with Brooks and take Meredith off the other show unless she gets too expensive. That's really like the only reason you would get rid of her, because now they're feeding off each other, the fan base. Salt Lake City, you're getting the older demographic, and making it Manhattan, you're getting the younger demographic, and they're going to start to merge. And the fans of, the young fans into making it in Manhattan will like Salt Lake City, and the older people that like Salt Lake City might like making it in Manhattan. So it feeds the machine on a business basis. So make sure you incorporate this in the gossip that you're hearing about different people. Melissa Gorga put a really strange statement out. I'll play it for you. It made me think that she's basically saying to Bravo, look, I'm willing to do whatever to stay on the show. And if she is, then they'll keep her, no matter what Teresa wants, because Melissa's a big name in her own right.
Tell us. I mean, we're hearing a lot of things about if there's going to be a new cast or is there a mix-up, because you guys didn't shoot the reunion, but what can you tell us? What can we hear?
Our guess is as good as yours. Yeah. We are all just kind of waiting to see what's going to happen, how it's going to get switched up. I think our ratings are amazing. Comparable.
Deliver.
Yes, right? Jersey delivers. So I don't know how much they're going to shake it up. I'm hoping it's a slight shake up and not a full shake up, of course. But Jersey is, we deliver.
A lot of dirty things go on behind scenes. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of juice happening, so we'll see we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, it makes for good television. We'll throw names in a hat and pick them out, right?
Yes, exactly.
So we obviously just passed the 4th. You guys have a good 4th. What'd you guys do?
Oh, hung out with family, relaxed. Yeah, it was actually a relaxing 4th, right?
We had a more chill one. I always throw like a huge 4th of July party. This year I retaliated. I was like, I am not doing it. Someone else can do it. Like, I didn't want to do it. But we had a chill year this year. It was more of like a watch the fireworks, sit back and chill kind of year.
Definitely. Yeah. And lastly, I just have to ask, what makes a good storyline or a good cast member? What's the secret to a good Housewives franchise?
Authenticity, for sure. I feel like just being authentic and giving us the real you, giving us the problems, giving us the happiness. I always say this, everyone likes to mention the names of the people who give just shock value and have like the craziness going on, but there's something to be said about people who are letting us into like their happy homes and their good lives and showing milestones in their children's lives. I think that's huge also for viewers. So we need both on Housewives, for sure.
All right, let's move on to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, all the spoilers of season 5. Holy moly, this is going to be a fun, long segment. Get ready for the juice. Okay, so we're going to do Real Housewives of Salt Lake City Season 5 spoilers now. If you don't want to hear them, which I totally understand. For the full scoop, join the Dishing Drama Dana Patreon. The link is in this audio description. It's only $6 a month, and you'll get the best information and tea about the things you care about, and even the things you don't know you care about. What are you waiting for? Then jump ahead to the Mummy's Curse, because I'm telling you, you're not going to want to miss that one. It's